What were you thinking at that time, actually? I want to know what you were thinking.
I wanted to know, if I'm being honest, if there was if there was the possibility of linking up.
Instead of what do you bring to the table, it should be what is your relationship with money. Only two things makes my husband excited. They both start with S. Soccer and sex.
Guys, listen. I like my woman satisfied.
Hey, you want a repeat customer,
want a
right?
repeat
We say
customer.
we're serving each other. If you want a repeat customer,
You gotta come back. You don't come here and I shower now.
You know, if you want the maximum output, you gotta have the maximum input.
Some
right?
people don't care about maximum output.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Insync Marriage.
What's going on, babe?
Hey, baby.
I'm here. I'm here. How's your week?
I've had a pretty good week. I know yours has been crazy.
It's been a long week.
And we can tell.
Yeah.
All right, shake it off.
I'm here.
All right, good.
Let's do it.
You guys, I dragged him in.
She said we have to do this recording, but I'm excited to be here.
Good.
Glad to be back.
Yes. All right, guys. So we decided that we were going to do something a little bit different this episode. The last few episodes, we've had people from our community, our friends, come on here, and you guys have heard their perspective, the different things that are going on in their lives, what they're doing great, what they're struggling with. And we've gotten some DMs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
The engagement has been phenomenal. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It helps us a lot when you guys engage with us because it lets us know that what we're doing is actually making an impact. So again.
And if you're that person that watches everything, clicks everything, but you don't put the like button, you don't put no comments.
You don't subscribe.
God knows your zip code.
Come on now.
Okay?
You're collecting free help. You're not helping. I'm playing. All right, let's move right on. I'm Tosin LA, and this is my husband.
Sumi LA.
All right, so today we're going to be responding to y'all's questions. Y'all's more like really the DMs we've received, the scenarios we've gotten from folks. You guys have questions, and so we're going to try to talk about it and then also see what you, our listeners, think about these. Maybe you can give them some help or some answers. So we're going to start right off the bat with the very first message we got. Babe, you ready?
Oh, God.
I'm going to be moderating. I'm going to read them, and then
God.
we'll talk about it. All right, first message we got said, "Hi, Tosin and Sumi. I'm writing because I honestly don't know if I'm overreacting."
You are?
Oh.
Sorry. I'm on one today. If somebody starts a question by, I don't know if I'm overreacting, 9 out of 10 times they are overreacting.
Maybe this is the
But
1 out
please
of 10
continue.
when they're not.
I'm sorry.
Drink some water. Cool down. All right. Whenever my spouse and I have a disagreement, they call their friends to vent. I recently found out that details of our arguments are being discussed in group chats. People know things about me that I've never even shared myself. Now, when we're around those friends, I feel naked, judged, and honestly betrayed. My spouse says she needs community support. So the spouse is female. Okay. But I feel like our marriage is no longer private or sacred. Where is the line between getting advice and exposing your spouse? Ooh. Okay, so is he overreacting now?
Let me immediately eat my words.
Yes. No, you are not overreacting.
You are definitely not overreacting.
No,
But go right
absolutely.
ahead.
So, babe, what do you think about this? Give them advice. They're asking, what's the line between getting advice and exposing your spouse?
First of all, I want to start by saying we're not the smartest people on planet Earth, right? So take every advice with a grain of salt.
Not with a grain of salt. Just pray about it. And we do know some things.
Maybe a little. We know enough.
Why you got to say grain of salt, though?
Well, I just like to say that so people don't take our words as
Take
as
it with
gospel.
a big spoon of soup.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a bucket, but like a spoon. Not
Right.
a grain.
I think the response that I would have humbly is that marriage should be sacred, right? It should be a place where each person shows up in their most vulnerable state. It should be a place where you come and you can relax. You can be your true, complete, and honest self.
Okay.
So if you have these type of situation where you're sharing something with your spouse and you're finding out that things are being taken out of the confines of your home, it is problematic. It's something that needs to be addressed, and it's something that needs to stop. Really needs to stop.
Okay.
I think that's where I will.
That's your take.
Yeah.
And I think that stuff can be discussed outside of the marriage with the partner's consent. I don't think that, because sometimes you don't have all the answers. Like, remember was it episode 2 where we were talking with Lade and Dami, and we were talking about like family meeting?
Yes.
Family meeting was something we all consented to. And
Correct.
we discuss, me and you will determine, let's say we have a disagreement and we can't come to, a consensus. We will agree that, okay, you know what? We don't seem to have the answer. Why don't we discuss this with our friends and see what they think? Now, that's a mutual agreement, So anything that's discussed is with his consent. And sometimes when we're in the middle of talking, because I could get really like, I put it all out there. I would like, if I get to a point where I feel like there might be something he may not want said, I would actually verify with him if it's okay to share. And again, it depends on the people you're sharing with. Is this your pastor? It sounds like this one is just a group of friends. Also, be very careful when you're sharing stuff with family. There's something called secondhand offense that people don't understand. Like, offense between you and the person that you love and you've chosen to do life with forever. You guys can resolve things.
Most times you resolve
Most
it.
times,
Yeah.
love sort of like, helps you overcome things. But you see the other people, the ones who didn't sign up to do
The
forever.
sisters, the brothers, the friends.
It's hard. It's always very hard to get rid of the offense when it's secondhand. So make sure that if you're sharing something, first of all, it's mutually agreed upon.
Yeah.
Second of all, there's circles where you just don't take things. There's circles when we had our, I think a lot of our friends and our family members were probably finding out for the first time that we had, the first few years when we had the infidelity issue. We're
Yeah,
finding
just
out on the
find
podcast.
On the podcast, yeah.
Like, it was not something that we shared with them. And at the time we were bringing it out, we were comfortable in our skin.
Yeah.
We knew that it didn't matter.
So much so that whatever anybody's opinion was,
It didn't matter anymore.
wouldn't change anything. And I think you made a valid point, babe.
Yeah.
Because truly, what we're sharing and when we're sharing matters. Right? And I say that specific. What you're sharing, there's some things, as much as we have friends, right, in our lives
It's not
where
everything
we
they
share
know.
some things with. It's not everything. They don't know the intimate details of our relationship, right? And that's why it's a marriage, right? It's sacred. I keep going back to that word.
It's two of you and God.
Absolutely. So some things is between the two of you and your creator that should be hearing about them. And then there's some things that, okay, maybe you have trusted relationships, trusted friends. Again, we say maybe your pastor, hopefully you have a pastor that you can trust. Cause
That won't preach about you on Sunday in a way that everybody will know it is you.
So
I mean, you can preach about, hey, I was talking to someone the other day and, blah, 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 blah. You can, but not in a way that people would like identifiable factors. I know some old school Niger churches.
hopefully that's not,
the sister
that's
on
not
the
your
second row
situation.
with the braids that came to me last week and everybody already knows what they're talking about.
Hopefully there are multiple sisters in that second row with braids. Well, you get the point, right?
Yeah. So hopefully we've been able to help with that. And for you who's feeling betrayed, because you're the one asking this question, hopefully your spouse is watching and they can read between the lines if they're doing this, how to determine, what to do and what not to do. Yeah. But for you, little things like this that don't get discussed are the things that sort of start to build resentment. We always talk about resentment on here.
Hopefully you've discussed it with your spouse.
And hopefully it's well received.
You've been able to express to them how it actually makes you feel.
Yes.
Right? And I'm hoping that your spouse is receptive, one, and also ready to protect you, right? In that moving forward, things like this don't happen again.
Yep. So, yeah. Okay, we're going to move to the next one. You guys, honestly, again, thanks. All right, the next one. This one was interesting. I actually read it and I was like, ooh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Hello, everyone in our circle thinks my spouse and I are the model couple or model couple. People constantly come to us for advice, prayer, and guidance. The truth is, we're tired. Behind closed doors, we're struggling in ways no one knows. We feel pressure to keep up this image because we don't want to disappoint anyone. But carrying this strong couple title is heavy, and sometimes I wish someone would pour into us the way we pour into everyone else. How do you admit you need help when you're known for having it all together?
Ooh. Yeah, this one's sticky, but it goes back to I think some of the things that we may have touched on in the past, babe. I don't know if you remember. Well, I'm sure you do. We've talked about mentorship, and we talked about the tiers in mentorship, right? In that we see ourselves in the middle. There are people that we're pouring into, and then there's people that's pouring into us constantly, so that we are also being fed. And the danger is what's playing out here in this scenario, which is that you're consistently pouring out, you're consistently giving of yourself. And it's funny how the society also puts us all on a pedestal, right? Especially those of us that are in leadership in church, right?
Yeah.
Where we're the ones that people come to for answers all the time. But and that in itself is not a bad thing. Now, where it turns bad is when there is no mentorship in your life, people who are pouring into you, because I think we have that, right? We have that buffer in that when things are not so great in our lives, we have pairs, right? We answered that in the other question. We have pairs in our lives that we can go to, we can talk to, right? Not only that, we also have people who are our pastors that we can go to, right?
Yep.
And
we've
we've given them the space. Right, we've given them the space to be able to speak into our lives. So I think I'm hoping that you guys can have some kind of a structure in your life that allows for mentorship. Maybe seek out people that you've identified, hopefully within your community, or maybe even outside.
It's gonna have to be outside. So what I got from this sounds to me like these people are probably like pastors. That's what I got. You know how I don't know about you, but in the last like maybe few years, there's quite a few pastors we know who have experienced divorce, who have gone through divorce.
Yeah,
unfortunately. And then you're like, like you had no idea. They looked like everything was perfect on the outside until you heard, oh no, so and so are no longer together. Yeah. And or people who are not pastors, but they've carried that banner or they're public on social media and they're showing their daily marriage. Oh, like there was that couple, what was their name? That was like, it was a whole big drama on social media. They're like a TikTok couple.
Let's not mention names.
I know, no, everybody knows them. Like, no, they're like influencer couple.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't know.
No, I know he's not on social media, but there was a couple. I think Christy and something, Damon or something like that. Anyways, they were all over social media, and it was because their platform was about their marriage and their home, and so people felt like they had a front row seat to their marriage, and they had an opinion. And so it's difficult when people like that, your daily portrayal of your life is just the positives and never the negatives. So again, my question is, how are you portraying yourselves? Because that's the thing. I feel like when I discuss, if I ever give an example of my marriage or whenever we're talking, I'm very quick to help you know that it ain't perfect and that there are things we're still navigating. Yeah. I can see us in this scenario because there's people who think because we have a marriage podcast that we're perfect or that we got it, but it's being relatable and honest and vulnerable and making it clear that we're all human. We're really just trying to figure this out. If you're doing that when you're sharing or helping others, like our mentees, Tade and Carolyn, when they were on here, like they see the good, the bad, the ugly. They've been here through it all, but it's never we're never saying we're perfect. It's just, okay, can we talk with you, walk with you as you navigate your stuff? And yes, you'll see some of the stuff that we're like, struggling with, and hopefully you're able to learn just by, proximity or whatever. So
It's-
my
it's-
point is,
I think it's just being human. Yeah, I think it's not being human, right? It's I mean, sorry, being human in that. I don't know if you remember, babe, when we were going to start the podcast. One of my main reasons that we didn't start this, probably for a period of a year or two, was because I didn't want to come forward and make people believe that, oh, we're these perfect people because we're speaking on the topic of marriage, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And so, yeah, it's, again, when you're
It's
in
a hard
leadership,
place
it's
to be.
really tough.
It's
and
hard.
people will put you on a pedestal, but you have to do the job of not sitting on that pedestal
Yep.
that people place you on.
Yep.
Of making sure that you are correcting people.
That you're constantly walking on the same
Yes.
on the same path that everybody else is walking in. They are not, they put that throne and they set it there for you. You now go and sit down on it.
Yeah.
No, they put the throne. You walk right past it and walk where everybody else is. You sit on the same seat everybody else is and make it clear that nobody's perfect.
Absolutely.
First, is it demyth or demythify? Is that a word? Because I'd be making up
Yeah.
words. Okay, good.
Demythify,
Demythify the fact that people think you're perfect. Can you be that vulnerable? That's number one. Then number two, how do you admit you need help? I would suggest that maybe you do definitely immediately, like my husband said, find mentors, find somebody else. Maybe start outside of your community, and then work as you demythify the way people treat you, the way people see you. You can bring it back into your community if you need to. Yeah. But that's all I could say, honestly. That's it.
Good job for being vulnerable enough to even bring this up.
Yeah.
The fact that you know that there's something wrong says a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning. That therein lies the healing that is needed. So seek out the help. If it means therapy outside of the community, great, do that. If it means identifying people that can point to you outside of your community, go get the help that you need.
You know what? Therapy is great. I love that you said that because we did therapy. We did therapy at some point. That's outside of your community.
Yep.
Might help. All right. Next one. How are we doing so far? Good. Next one. My spouse. No, that's not here. Hi, I've been holding this in for a while.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord. Okay, thank you for sharing. When I bring concerns to my spouse, I'm brushed off or told I'm being too sensitive. But when the same advice comes from a friend, a family member, or a pastor, suddenly it's wisdom from God. It makes me feel small and unheard in my own marriage. I don't want to compete with outside voices for my spouse's respect. How do you deal with feeling like your voice matters the least? Oof.
Yeah.
People be asking something.
This is a common thing, by the way, especially within Christian communities.
Especially
where
Nigerian community.
and it's those of us that are of African descent.
Ooh,
we
pastor
put
is
pastors on a pedestal, right? Their words are golden, and
it's not a bad thing, but
everything,
we overdo it sometimes.
right? Where I heard somebody say one time that if a pastor is telling you to do something, and your husband is telling you not to do that thing, you should listen to your husband, because your husband is the crown that God has placed over your head.
Yes.
Right? Meaning, in this case, this might not be the woman or the man.
I don't even know what gender this person
the point is, I think we should all create the kind of relationships where our spouses feel
Safe.
valued, feel safe. We talk about intimacy in so many different ways. This is one of those areas, right? We want to be intimate with our spouses. This is it. If your spouse can't come to you and tell you things that are really truly bothering them and feel like you're listening to them, but then the next thing, somebody comes and says the same thing you said a month ago, and all of a sudden the light bulb came on.
It could be about timing, though. Let's also give that. It could be about
That's
timing.
true.
It could be about timing. But if it's not about timing, where it's just that you don't, sometimes people just don't respect their spouse.
Yeah, it is true, but it's not. I've seen situations where, yes, timing could be a thing. Delivery could be a factor, right? The way you're delivering the message. But in a lot of cases, it's not that. It's just not having respect
For their opinion.
for one another.
Wow.
And really respecting what the person brings to the marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, okay, here's the thing. I do like the angle you took where you said the husband is the head of the wife. And I feel like then your pastor is over your husband. So if your husband does not agree with what the pastor is saying, then you both don't agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
He's the head of that home.
Yep.
But this person, it
And
seems
the-
like it's not just pastor. It's anybody but
It's anybody.
them.
It could be friends.
So
It could
if
be-
I'm gonna guess, this is probably a woman, because I'm trying to see what kind of decisions can be made that would be a man, and the woman would be the one that's trumping. You know,
It's very possible.
it's
Can't rule
possible.
it out.
But if this was a woman, I also want to paint in my mind. I'm trying to see the scenarios in which I've seen this happen, and it's usually whenever maybe like the guy is like the breadwinner and the woman is maybe like a homemaker or something like that. I'm just making a scenario out, right? And usually that's when you see things like this, where the person is undervalued or not respected because they think you're not the one that is. You're not, or you're not as educated as me, so you can't say something. Let me tell you, this is my own opinion, especially for those who are not yet married. Be careful before you marry somebody. That's the problem. When before they marry you, what is the reason they married you? Some people marry someone just for their looks. Some people marry someone just because they want children. You know, you've not heard, I know this might not be like modern day, but like, you know, fertile hips. So that's why I'm marrying you. Some people marry the guy just because of money. All these reasons you marry people, they're going to show up later. They're going to show up later down the line in the way they treat you. People, when you're picking a spouse, it got to be more than the surface. It got to be that they stimulate something inside of you that, or your mind, that you guys can have dialogue.
Yeah.
You guys you don't have to be on the same level academically. You don't have to be on the same level career-wise. But when y'all get together, like, there's things that when Tosin said, the episode with Tosin and Lorette, where he was like, their North Star.
Right.
You have an anchor. And for that reason, there's respect. There's mutual respect.
Right.
I feel like our North Star is Christ. Our North Star is God. And because of that, there's things you respect about me, not necessarily for me, but for God's sake.
Well, I mean, also keep in mind that if you were perfect on your own, then you wouldn't need a wife or you wouldn't need a husband, right? If you had all the answers to everything in the world, why do you need, just go and be Paul and just be by yourself, right?
But that's the problem. That's exactly the thing I'm talking about. Is most people think they're already perfect.
But you're
they're
not.
only marrying this person either to complete the CV or their resume, to add married with children to it, not because they think that this person brings any value to their life.
That sounds like pride to me.
Of course.
Yeah, that sounds like pride.
Of course, and we all know what happens with pride.
And we know
it comes before
what happens
fall.
when pride is the greatest sin of all, right? And if this is a man, if this is a woman, I would suggest strongly that that person deals with the pride within self, because there's no way I'm doing life with someone and I don't want their opinion,
them.
and I don't value them. I don't, even in my business that maybe you don't know too much of, right? There are times where I would get stuck on decision making, and I just need to run that stuff by you, and I'm hoping that you can help me see an angle that I haven't seen before.
Period.
And that is value.
Period.
Right? So
it doesn't. You just got to know what it is that this other person, and I know I'm being careful not to say the what do you bring to the table thing, but it's not necessarily that. It's not about the table here. It's really what you bring into my life that completes me. And that's what it is that, I have all these things. What else about you can fill in the missing puzzles in my life? And those are the things that are important other than the surface level.
yeah.
So in this case, these people are married. You need therapy. Like, for real, y'all need to actually go get counseling on this. This one right here is
That sounds so bad.
no, not in a bad way. Not in a bad
you
way.
need therapy.
No. Because I feel like a person who is not valuing your opinion would not value your opinion when you try to tell them that they're not valuing your opinion.
That is true.
So if you're just going to try to have a conversation with this person without a third party, I can see how that would just be a waste of your time. So you need someone that they respect to sit in the in the room and actually help y'all navigate this. Maybe the pastor that they seem to respect, you need to actually let them know that this is what's happening.
You know, there's something called marriage mediation. And mediation doesn't always mean that things are falling apart, right? Before we start mediating. And this is what
just when we're not aligned.
When we're not in alignment, we can introduce the concept of mediation into the conversation, where there's somebody who's a neutral person
that
right?
can translate my English
that
to
can
you.
actually break down what I'm saying that you're not understanding.
Yeah.
And present it in a way that maybe you can understand, and then help us find a common ground.
And I don't know if this is controversial, but I want to say something, especially to for real, especially to the girls out there. This is for the ladies. Honestly, if you're going to marry somebody, make sure you marry somebody that has someone that they listen to. You see this whole idea of like he's the king of the castle. Nobody can, especially when they're the ones that are paying the bills for everybody in their family, including their mother and their father. If they don't even have mother and father, that it sometimes makes it even more complex. Where there is nobody that can talk to them and they will listen. Red flag. Red flag. There has to be somebody that can speak to this person and they would listen. When you're dating him and he doesn't have a pastor, he doesn't have a mentor, doesn't have an older brother or an uncle or someone that he goes to or can speak to him and he would actually sit down like a little boy and listen. My sister. Because that's when you guys get married and then now you're going to have conflict. It's inevitable. Yeah. When it happens, there has to be someone you can go to if you're not communicating well. I know guys who will tell you that over their dead body, would they go to counseling or go to therapy?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm not taking my story to a stranger. I get it. Okay, what about the non-stranger? There's none.
Especially the well-educated guys.
Oh, absolutely.
The more education, the worse the case. But
all right, so hopefully that helped. I don't know.
Hopefully. All
right, here's the last one.
All right.
Okay. All right. Hey, Sammy and Tosin, some of our married friends constantly joke about their spouses. They call them names, roll their eyes, and laugh about how annoying marriage is. My spouse joins in sometimes, and I laugh too. But honestly, it bothers me deeply. I don't want to be the couple that normalizes disrespect just to fit in. I'm afraid that what we laugh about publicly is showing up privately. How do I address this without sounding controlling or overly spiritual? First of all, change your friends.
That's drastic. You went all the way to change your friends. No, I think the first thing
how
is
close are they to you?
You're a culprit, right? You've added to the problem, which is that when these conversations come up, you just said in the letter that you laugh to.
They're admitting that it's because it's funny.
Right. Well, so those are the moments where we can't all sleep and face the same direction. There's a way we say that in where we're from. I can't use that here now. But the point I'm trying to make is we can't all sleep and face the same direction.
That's the same point.
Somebody within the group has to start calling things out. Right. And you're going to sound like the black sheep. You're going to sound like the different person in the group. But you know what? Sometimes it's okay to be different. It's okay to have a stance that is different from everybody else. When it's happening, there's no better time than to call it out in the moment. Especially when you're already saying and you're spotting that these things is starting to seep through the fabric of your home. Because everybody's going to experience this. Everybody that's sitting in that congregation laughing and joking and everyone's going to see it in their homes. And so we need to start like really calling things out. And maybe
yeah,
have
but they
a
don't want to sound overly
conversation.
spiritual. So let me sound spiritual for you, my dear. If you are Christian, you believe in Christ, you are not operating on the same playing field as the world. So you cannot have qualms or have an issue with standing out. We're supposed to stand out. We're supposed to be different.
That's good.
Because we operate on the spiritual. We see things differently. We are not seeing with the same eyes that everybody is seeing with. So yes, it's okay to be spiritual. That's not a negative thing. And it's okay to be the one that is calling out wrong. If your community of friends cannot be okay with that, then I go back again to my initial statement. Change your friends.
I agree.
Change your friends.
1,000%.
Hopefully you can talk to your spouse about this in private and you guys can both align. If your spouse is also not seeing reason in how this is bad, again, I go back to my baseline. You need therapy, you need help, you need counseling, you need somebody to help them see it. And hopefully open your word, man, y'all. Open your Bible.
Yeah.
Open your Bible. Like, I don't see how you keep speaking negatively into your marriage and you expect your marriage to flourish. It wouldn't.
It's just like anything else in life, right?
Speak life into what you want to live.
What you speak life to is what would end up showing up,
yeah.
right? You're breathing, literally, you're breathing the breath of God into every situation. Everything that you give your energy to, right? It manifests in some way or another, and I hate to use that word manifest because people use it wrongly. But the issue here is if we're continuously negative within our groups of friends, right? We're being negative. We wonder why bad things or negative things are happening in our marriage.
Oh, there's power in the tongue. That's what my Bible
yeah.
tells me. Two-edged sword. The same power that, the same way you speak love, you speak hate. This tongue
Same
right
tongue.
here, oh my God. So what you say matters, period. Whether it's in a joking form or serious form, I'm glad you came to the realization that this is wrong and that you actually identified it. So kudos to you. Talk to your spouse, see if they'll align. Talk to your friends. How close are you guys with these people? Is it a friendship that's worth even nurturing? And if it is, then talk to your friends. If it's not, slowly start ghosting.
And if they ostracize you guys because
that's okay.
Of your stance,
absolutely
that's
okay.
exactly what God wants for you.
I'm sure there's other people out there that are positive, that are breathing life into their relationship that you can do life with.
Yes.
So with that being said, I think that's it for this episode. I hope we were able to answer your questions.
Thanks
Guys,
for the
if you
thought-provoking
have
questions, by the
these
way.
were deep. But if you have additional advice for these couples, please put them in the comment section.
Yes.
We don't know everything about everything. If there's, maybe another perspective that share it.
Please.
Hopefully these couples are in the comment section reading and you guys can find more help in that. So on that note, what do we want everybody to do, babe?
We want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Right?
As always, on all platforms. Insync Marriage Podcast, Insync Marriage at Insync Marriage. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Goodbye.